YouTube output should be going as well. Mic check 1 2 1 2. I do know that I should not be sounding this strange this time. Everything should be up and going. Yep, both of them are going, and we can get started. Hello, hello. This is Jonas Brasco. I was not trying to make that rhyme. But we now return to our regularly scheduled program. This is Fulham at Brighton. As you can see, Fulham is wearing their away kits, and Brighton is in their traditional home light blue and white. So far, the match is at 0-0 with Brighton and Fulham only with one shot so far. Neither of them have been on goal. Brighton has the most possession right now. This is Fulham has an opportunity to switch places. Brighton's only a point and goal ahead of them at this time. Brighton is currently in 8th place, and Fulham is currently in 9th. Checking out the table as it stands, Brighton would actually go above Bournemouth at this time, while Fulham would still stay in 9th place. On the other hand, Fulham themselves, with a win, could jump up to 6th, depending on what happens in the Newcastle game on Monday against West Ham. But first things first, we gotta talk about the early game because you now know that Nottingham Forest is definitely for real. With that 1-0 win over Manchester City, Hudson-Odoi gets one in the 83rd minute. I know no one was expecting that to happen, but it did, and it was good. In the meantime, I want to thank everyone who is checking out this game. I know we're a little late, but just so we know, I'll show lineups. One thing that which is a surprise, but he's probably going to play that super sub role of Danny Welbeck, sporting at the number 18th attacker position. Also, Solly March is someone to keep in mind as well. But Brighton's no slouch by any means. So keep an eye on Pedro and Rudder if you're a Brighton fan. Fulham, on the other hand, coming off that big PK shootout win over Manchester United. Smith Rowe had a shot, went right. You should be glad that you're not a Buffalo Bills fan. Or if there are any Buffalo Bills fans in the chat, I apologize greatly. But what is nice is that there was a shot. It wasn't quite on frame, but I'm trying to see because the keeper may have gotten a fingertip to it. It's definitely okay. So it definitely goes off a defender. This should be a corner. The corner is wasted. But Fulham is still keeping possession. As much as I want to admit it, the big thing with Fulham is we're still that struggle to get goals early and quickly. They did not do that well in the last game. Actually, I mean, they didn't do bad. I apologize. I shouldn't say that they did bad. I am going to say that it was definitely a struggle to find goals. And for anyone who did watch the Fulham Manchester United game, Alan Shearer has greatly apologized for giving Bruno Fernandes a man of the match, which is not unprecedented for a losing side to have a man of the match, but still, Calvin Bassey definitely deserved it. But in the meantime, to run this down, Brighton still has the ball. I want to keep, like, Bassey is definitely a man on a mission. So I definitely want. So definitely, if you're watching this, keep an eye on him. I'm being very careful because I don't want the game to actually, you know, come up on come up on Mike. That's what happened last time, and I got in trouble for it. I don't need this. I don't need my broadcast getting flagged again. Was that a foul? It is. Nope. Fulham's going to get advantage on that. Smith Rowe went down. It's going to be a throw in. I mean, it is trying to look at who cut him. Who cut him out? It looks like it may have been Purvis, but Fulham is doing the possession thing, and there's going to be plenty of that. But where Fulham gets caught is on the counterattack. It's not how many minutes you have possession. It is how well you do with the possession that you do have. And Fulham has not been the great on that. Just like I'm seeing now, Brighton's in the box. Shot on goal, Leno saves. Pretty simple, but still getting past that back line into the box. It was straight at the goalkeeper. Actually, there was a man offsides. It was a man offsides. It would not have counted anyway. Fulham has had a good record recently against people ahead of them in the table. But that's not going to. And I'm looking at this. It looks like it's a little. That was Smith Rowe, and it looks like that was Balaba. They kind of tumbled under each other, but I think it's going to be a free kick for Brighton. In the meantime, let's run down. No, I can't really run down any scores because outside of Man City and Nottingham Forest, everything else is 0-0, and that was the early game. We got two more on the docket later on today with Brentford and Aston Villa for the next game, 12:30 in my area of the world, and Wolves and Everton at 3 p.m. So both of those games should be, especially that Everton Wolves game, fighting at the bottom of the table. It literally, what's going to be interesting is that point differential. If you're Wolves, you want to get a little bit more because you're at 22 points. Ipswich is only 4 points behind. But if you're Everton, you're getting closer and closer to saving yourself, and a win up here and a win against that game can have them go above Spurs at least for the next game. But as far as the Sunday games are concerned, they're all going to be fights. You got Chelsea at Leicester. No, sorry, Chelsea against Leicester, not at Leicester. Chelsea will be at Stamford Bridge, but Leicester, they could definitely use the points. It won't get them out of the relegation zone, but everything will go to their advantage. Southampton is looking for the miracle today against Liverpool. And maybe give Arsenal some. No, I mean, not really. Let's face it, Arsenal's probably not going to hold on for this. In the meantime, Brighton still's keeping possession of the ball. Still no. I don't think they're going to count that shot that was taken earlier just because it was offside. But no, they're going to count it. So here's the thing now. Brighton has 2 shots on target. Fulham again is dominating the possession, dominating the corners, but still not able to get one on frame. And also more fouls. Nonetheless, no tickets, no complaints there. Neither team has had a really, really big chance. And we'll switch back to that current lineup. But by no means this is okay. No, that's not a foul. I know this is going to sound really bad, but there really is only one player on Fulham that you can count on fouling, and I I almost don't want to put it up there, but a part of me wants to put a little counter. It's like, will Andres Pereira commit a foul and get a card? But I don't want to do that. Still, Anthony Robinson for Fulham has the armband. Expect Tom Carney to get it once, which is out. But Brighton is doing a good job crowding Fulham. Get the ball, get possession back. They're gonna try to no. Fulham's back line. Looks like that was Anderson with a header to get it out. No complaints about Fulham so far as their defense. And with the exception of a cringeworthy performance against Crystal Palace, oh my gosh, we got to talk about that. Because that's going to be. Because yes, after Brighton, you get Spurs, a home against Spurs, and then on the 29th, that FA Cup round against Crystal Palace at Craven Cottage. So that in itself should be a fun match, something to keep in mind moving forward. This is a because with the exception of that, Fulham has done well in their last 5 games with 3 wins, a penalty shootout victory, but that one loss against Palace is going to be that is really the only thing because they got some much needed Prem wins against Forest and Wolves. Of course, they've moved on to the FA Cup with wins over Wigan and Manchester United. But let's not jump the gun. We still got a few. There's still a few games left for that. Brighton's keeper gets out of the box. Brighton is doing a really good job of like just not letting Fulham get into their side and even like pretend like they're gonna get a shot on goal. There's not even a pretend like anything is going to happen there. In the meantime, I want to thank everyone who's watching this match. It's 0-0 right now. Iwobi going that outside, trying to get into the box. Jimenez is in there. Jimenez is going to shoot, and it's a goal. Raul Jimenez gets a goal. Fulham is up 1-0. Great. Great break into the box. 35th minute. They really needed this. Fulham is up 1-0. Raul Jimenez, the Pirate, gets it in there. And Iwobi should get the assist. That was a wonderful break. Iwobi coming down, coming down that right side. Jimenez heading straight for the middle. It's outside, beats the defenders, and just slots it through. Wonderful goal for Fulham. 1-0. Yes. Yes, it was. And okay, didn't not make the keeper, but the keeper tried to get big. It goes straight to the left side. The keeper doesn't get his arms down. Just nothing more I can say. Great shot for Jimenez. Fulham at this time, they literally have jumped up to 6 if they can maintain this, and they would only be a point behind Chelsea. No, hey, thank you. Thank you for joining the stream. It took a minute to get everything set up, but wow, I'm just happy that someone's here. Maybe the maybe this will actually appear on a highlight. But yeah, there's not to. Thanks. I have a subscriber. It's very few. That's the thing. There's very few Fulham streamers out there. I don't know of any live reaction or live play by play streamers. So I had to come on. I've been a Fulham fan close to 20 years. So I wanted to at least show some love. Unfortunately, I can't do certain midweek games, but I sure should be able to. If you're curious, next Sunday I should be able to stream the Fulham Tottenham game. Um, Now keep in mind, and I hope this will. I gotta check because I know some people do the daylight savings time and others do not, so I'll have to redo my schedule for that. But let's get back to this because Brighton, I know they're not going to sleep on it. What would really, really be good is Fulham to get a second one before halftime. Because sadly, the one thing that has been very constant this season is Fulham have been winning these games by very close 1 and 2 goal margins. There has not been a team that they've blown out, at least during the Premier League season. They've only scored 4 goals once, and that was in the Carabao Cup. So this Brighton is not a team that you can hold on to a 1-0 lead with. And my mouse is acting like it does not want to work. And if nothing else, we've learned about Brighton. Brighton can score. In their last five matches, they beat Chelsea 2-1. They beat Chelsea 3-0. They beat Southampton 4-0. They beat Bournemouth 2-1, and they beat Newcastle 2-1. This is this is I don't even want to say a good mid-table match. It is a mid-table match, but there's so much on the line for that European for attacking and going for Europe. Yeah, there are very very few, but I'm looking and please tell me it. Uh Balaba. Let's see how this happened. Pereira did kind of run, elbowed him in the back. Please, please. I'm trying not to make a Pereira counter of how many fouls Andreas Pereira will have. because odds are it's gonna be at least a couple. I'm looking at this. That was just a great header. I can't even be mad at that. When you said Brighton coming in crunch time, yeah, like I said, they weren't gonna get a 1-0 lead on that, but that is a wonderful header. No one is getting to it. Robinson was possibly the closest one, but one thing I've never seen Anthony Robinson do is head a ball. So I'm not even surprised that that happened before halftime. And as much as I wanted to, like I said, this was not going to be a 1-0 game. That's a wonderful header. Credit where credit's due. And I'm just checking one thing with Van Heck because he is a yeah he Van Heck is not he is not short at all. He may be the tallest guy on the pitch, and he's young, only 24. I think for Fulham, I want to say that Iwobi is our tallest at like 6'2". So I'm not even surprised that that happened. Leno, yeah, Leno didn't have a chance. It was near right. I mean, it was towards the. I want to say it was a little bit more towards the keeper. I'm not even saying Leno was out of position, but Brighton has the ball again, and I think this is gonna be. No, it is not Brighton corner. But again, credit where credit's due. That was a that was a great header. I I don't like admitting it, but it was a great header. And now we gotta try the now Fulham has to try the rare thing, which is almost more rare than 3 goals. Having two before halftime, which does not happen. Get to the outside. Nice tackle. Do not. Are they gonna? I'm looking. Don't you dare say that was a card. Because I want to say Castagna got ball on that. They're showing the replay. No, Castagna got ball. There's no foul. There's no foul. Not a flop. Get up. Move on. We got 2 minutes of stoppage happening in this. But Brighton on the break again. Looks like Bassi clears him out. Leno has the ball. If you're Fulham, you're disappointed going into halftime, but it's not the panic button yet. The fact of the matter is, with Brighton, you need to score goals. There's no other way about it. Because if nothing else,